All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk About It. And it may not be
Welcome,
Taco
welcome.
Tuesday, but we're still going to talk about it. Today, I'm one of your hosts, Celestial Sun. Also here with me is the beautiful Nikki D. Luffy. And our wonderful guest that's going to be joining us today is...
Me, NomadDummy.
There we go. I was going to say that's
Random streamer, but glad to be on the show.
That's your cue. Yeah. So, any particular place that you want to start with us, or?
I'm just gonna roll with whatever you guys throw. So, yeah.
So you want? Okay. All right. All right. Well, we'll start with a really easy one. Any new releases for games, movies, anything along those lines that you're really looking forward to in the near future?
Golden Ring, like straight up. There's been nothing but just one trailer, and
It's not happening. Keep dreaming.
well, I'm gonna dream then.
Mm-hmm. I share the dream
Someday.
with you. I share the dream with you. Trust me. But it's not happening.
Not anytime soon,
No.
but we'll see. We'll see.
Mm.
All right. Had a little hiccup there, but we're back okay.
Oh, well.
Stream,
All right,
I've
nice,
had to
nice.
have a mini stroke, but we're okay. We're alive.
Crying shame. Yeah, the recording had a little bit of a disjoint too whenever I first started it. But we are recording, so we're good.
We're alive.
Yes.
All right, that's comforting.
But yeah, definitely. I think one of the new games that I'm looking forward to, I hope will live up to the hype for sure, is the new Pokemon games. You know,
Are you talking about the remakes, or are you talking about Arceus?
a little bit of both. I mean, we could touch about like the remakes, because I understand the remakes, like it's the remake. No.
And some commentary about the style they chose of the
Yeah,
avatars and characters.
yeah. I'll go ahead and commentate on that. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I hate the chibi style. I don't think it fits very well. Although I am excited to see Gen 5 being brought onto the Switch, for sure.
Yeah.
As for Arceus, though, that one, that looks like a nice spicy meatball. I'm very excited
Arceus,
for
you
that.
mean Legend of Zelda mixed with Pokemon, basically. That's what I thought.
At least graphically, yeah. But yes. Because one of my all-time favorite Pokemon games is actually Pokemon Coliseum, way back on the GameCube.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And so I got some hardcore vibes from Arceus that just rooted right to that nostalgia. So I'm actually excited. As for myself, for a game that I'm looking forward to in the near future, I'm a big MMORPG with fanatic, I should say, with way too much time on their hands. So New Worlds from Amazon, actually.
New World.
I haven't heard of that one yet.
I was actually able to get in on the alpha testing, which was 10 out of 10. There was definitely some glaring issues with like PvP and such, but I am extremely excited to be having a target for the excessive amounts of free time that I have, for sure.
I don't think I heard of that one actually.
Yeah, me neither.
It's on Steam, so for anyone curious, you're more than welcome to check it out. I mean, obviously, it's not mine. I have nothing to do with it, but if you do like MMORPGs, it's shaping up to be pretty solid, so.
Interesting.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I always wanted to ask. I don't think I ever asked you this question, but what kind of brought you along the lines to like to stream? Why did you decide to do streaming in general?
Funny that you ask. This idea came to me when my sister was like, dude, you waste too much time playing games. Why don't you show it off to someone or streaming? I was like, I would give it a try. And yeah, that brought me here, apparently.
Fair enough.
So, baby steps, essentially.
Definitely can relate to the wasting too much time on gaming.
Yep.
I think too much. I think we all can. No, there's no such thing as too much, don't lie.
I guess now we're not technically wasting time anymore, you know, we're
no
something out of it.
I mean, yeah, there is monetary value now, for sure.
Exactly.
Is it justifiable monetary value? Debatable.
It's debatable. Definitely.
Debatable. My case especially so. I'm not. Yeah, we're not going to talk about my finances. That's no.
Oh man.
So as a newer streamer, Nomad, how long have you been streaming exactly?
Well, I started like last year around May, after May actually.
So you're coming up on a year.
So almost a year basically.
Okay. Not bad.
I, s-
Bad on
I
the
think I've definitely grown as a streamer.
mhm.
I'm sure my quality is still bad, but I'm getting there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I mean, it's just a matter of comfortability.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing I've noticed, because I've definitely watched a few of your streams, and I do lurk a lot for a lot of people in our community. So one thing I definitely did notice is that you're not super comfortable on mic yet. You're still working on that, but that's something for everyone, because everyone has different varying levels of shy. I'm not even going to comment on the camera, because not everyone needs to do camera. Would I recommend you do camera at some point? Yes. But that's a matter of building it up and getting comfortable with streaming and your audience in general. Because that's definitely a big move, is putting your face on the internet basically for everyone to see.
Yeah. It's no small thing for sure.
No.
Like it may be like as easy as adding a webcam and going on, but you definitely do like open yourself to all sorts of comments, all sorts of things. But yeah, they know that if you have any questions on that, we'd love to help you get into that if you're interested too.
Is it necessary to show my face? I'd rather have like a mask,
At
like
that
a face, like a
Yeah, no, that's absolutely
like
fine.
YouTuber thing. But
Yeah, do
I'm too
a
lazy
whole
for
gimmick,
that,
homie.
so.
Do a whole gimmick. That's definitely one of the major strategies that a lot of people actually route for. I mean, look at VTubers. So it's basically the same principle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And right now, VTuber culture is actually super popular, and it's doing super well.
That's true. That is true. You can
Yeah,
also
it's
do
grown.
things really
It's
easy.
grown a heck of a lot in a short time.
Oh, absolutely. Because, at the same time, it is an art form. It is an art form. I can't deny that. And the people who rig up these sprites and these characters are absolutely
Models, yeah.
amazing at what they do. It's genuinely impressive from a technical standpoint.
Yeah.
So that might
Would
be
you
something to look
VTube,
into.
Nomad? Yeah. Would you do VTubing, you think?
If I ever get the materials to do it, I could throw my little character that you can see here. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that'd be cool if you can animate like your character and then becomes
Yeah.
animated. You become the character.
Yeah, I've got a lot of things I've planned, but so far I haven't gotten to do anything yet.
Soon TM.
Also,
Takes
big
time.
plans in store, essentially.
Big plans.
Soon TM.
Definitely. What'd you
Yeah.
say? I know you recently been, or you, but I remember seeing you playing Titanfall 2. But what other games do you think would you say is your main game?
I think my main games are surprisingly Titanfall 2 and Dark. Well, oh, you already said that, but it's one of my heaviest things
yeah.
I stream.
Of course.
But I also play a lot of Dark Souls 3. I recently got the DLC, so I'm like slowly but surely walking through it. I also streamed Apex, like some normie, but I like it, so even though I'm not good.
I don't know. When that one time when we popped in, you're showing off those taco punches. It's pretty solid. Pretty solid.
Lucky streak, if you want to call it anything.
I don't know. You dropped 11 kills there. Not too bad.
Absolutely.
My first stream as an affiliate was Little Nightmares 2, which I actually had to go and make bank account, like a whole ordeal to get to it. But I started streaming it as well, so I think I'm gonna head into the horror section of games. I should get like Resident Evil and that kind of games. Like I'm excited, but
horror is definitely a fun category.
Especially if you scream a lot.
Not only that, but that's kind of tandeming back to the whole webcam / camera, so having something interactable with your audience on screen.
Yeah.
Anything that shows your expressions, basically, and that can be a VTuber, that can be an avatar.
I've noticed that people only will interact if you interact with the chat. Like the few people I've ever talked to in chat.
Yeah.
I tried at first I never used the mic. And I only interacted via chat, like writing it down. But I don't think people really like that, so I had to switch to mic.
Well, one issue with that is definitely speed of conversation, right?
Exactly.
Because there's already a latency innate with Twitch. No matter what you do, there's always going to be at least a 3 millisecond latency. That's just innate with Twitch, and no matter what you do, it's always going to be there. So being able to have a vocal conversation rather than taking the extra, couple of seconds to type it out, kind of helps a bit.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Very
It's
true.
I need to get comfortable. That's like one of my main focal points.
Yeah, it just comes with time, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, most of
I suppose you guys have been doing it for how long? Sorry, streaming.
I've been streaming for about 3 years now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, myself, I think I'm in the same boat as you are. I've only been at it for a little bit less than a month. I'm not a month, a little bit
Wow,
less than a year.
I was about to say, flex on us real
Brain
quick. Why
hiccup
don't you
there.
shit? Hitting payouts
I wish
before you
we
even
could
hit
do-
affiliate. Damn, boy. That's impressive.
Oh man, oh man. But yeah, I definitely say. I mean, officially, I classify it as a year, right? But technically, I guess I did, try to do it. My alternate account, the fake Jeremy Lin. I had that one. I was gonna run with that when I was in college, but I was just had a laptop, and then I tried doing the laptop, tried playing League of Legends, and it was so stuttery, and I was like, okay, maybe this is not gonna be happening.
Yeah.
And I didn't tinker much with it after that.
Ooh,
It
yeah,
was,
I should ask.
It was fun. Yeah, go for it.
What games do you guys stream? Like you guys asked me, so it's only appropriate if I asked you.
I suffer from the variety clause, so anything and everything. I'm not a picky person. Yeah.
But I would
Variety
say,
streamer.
yeah, variety streamer for sure. Both of us. I definitely enjoy. I would say more recently, I tend to either prefer the Pokemon streams or the TFT streams. Both allow me to be a lot more interactive with chat. Not that that there's not too much thinking, but it's fun. It feels more fun.
Yeah,
recently.
I would definitely say it's a lot more lax by comparison. Because when I do my ranked League of Legends solo queue grinding, it's a lot more. My gameplay suffers. I'll put it that way because I do prioritize interacting with chat and with the audience rather than actually playing the game.
Yeah.
So gameplay definitely suffers in that aspect. And there is definitely a line that you have to learn to draw with that too. And that definitely determines what games you find more suitable, like Nick was talking about. Pokemon off an emulator on the PC or playing some TFT, which is a bit more lax and allows you a little bit more comfortability whenever you're going to interact with your stream.
Right, I agree. Sometimes when I've played Titanfall, I would like ignore the comments sometimes. And if I got too into the comments, chat, sorry, I would, get shot and die.
Yeah, FPS is always that fine balance that you have to skirt that line.
Yeah, it's kind of intense.
Because, you can sit there sometimes for a whole round and just ignore your chat, and then you get them in the intermission, and it's just like, well, I lost 4 viewers off of that, or I lost X amount of viewers off that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you sit there and you interact
point,
with the chat and you just get dumpstered, so it's like...
It's either one or the other. Or both.
I mean, at that point, I always say it, but I try to follow it myself too. Sometimes I find myself slacking. If you can, try to not look at that viewer count, especially now that, after you hit affiliate. Not that those numbers, not that they don't matter, but all they do at this point forward really is just get in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love trying to make sure it makes such a difference too. The energy that you bring to the table when just imagine it says 100, have a blanket, imagine it says 100, like, all right, what up everybody, how you all doing,
Yeah, that would be actually a nice trick to try.
Yeah, imagine you have all the audience in the world and roll with it, and then the audience, honestly, they start growing slowly, and then they pick up on that energy, and it gives them that inkling. You get the random people, gives that inkling in to say, hey, why not hang out.
Definitely
Yeah.
in terms of the energy thing, I definitely found for myself anyways, I found that using channel points for interaction definitely helps. One of the main things on my channel that gets used extremely frequently because it's not overpriced in my opinion, it's not underpriced, it's only 1,000 channel points, That's the voice impression for me, which allows people to literally anyone that they want to hear me do an impression of, or any character, anything like that, any voice in general, gives me the opportunity to do that as well, because it's, you know, a nice little challenge for me sometimes, because I'll come up with some things. Like the other day, I had Morp come in and request Aurelian Soul from League of Legends.
Well, that's true. I have a
which was a little bit different.
Gotta redeem some of those. Make you do some impressions.
Yeah. Are you mod on my channel, Nick? I don't remember. Because if not, then you can go for that VIP, bro.
That's true.
Make me raise that VIP count, bro. We only have one cash it in. But yeah, I guess that's another good point to bring up, is that channel points can actually bring beneficial interaction as an affiliate, for sure.
Yeah. Is
it something that you should work towards in order to gain affiliate? I don't think it's necessarily worth it. It is a minimal interaction, but it does help. It's not that big of a boon, though. So I guess that tandem's off to the point. Do you think affiliate is worth it, Nomad? In your opinion?
Yes.
You do think so? Okay.
Like, totally. Not just only monetary, but you also like channel points, like you've said, and you can throw in your emotes. That's pretty nice. Oh, did Nick leave?
Nick?
Oh, he's back.
I'm so good. I'm the best. I went to click general, right?
Yeah, I just want to point out you're not capturing again. You might want to.
I know. I got you.
I'm gonna keep the slow cap going until you fix it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Come on, you got this.
Wait, is that even catching?
Nope, he still hasn't captured it yet. There we go, and it's all scuffed. Ooh, boy.
Up to.
Oh no.
Eventually,
there we go.
Easy,
that's it,
guys.
Soon to him, he'll get it fixed.
Yeah.
Anywho, as you were saying, Nomad, I believe you still are finishing up a point there.
You asked me if affiliate is worth it,
yeah.
Right? I think it's worth it. Like, I mean, for me, it was kind of difficult. Like, my goal was to get affiliate so I could get monetary. Like, I know it's very mean of me to say that, but my sister was like, oh, you gotta get profit from your games. You gotta profit. And I was like, all right, sure. I just want to have fun. So...
No, he's talking to Doggo. Continue.
Oh, I thought he called me fat. Good. No, you won't. Who knows? Anyways, you know. So, with the perks that affiliate gives, as in for stream quality, like the channel points and the emotes you can like input, I think it's pretty nice and worth it. Like, I'm like miles away from becoming a partner or even dreaming of being one, but I'm happy with my affiliate perks, if you will.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's a wonderful mentality to have. You know, like, because like after you get that email, right, and then you go into your settings and you go to your manager, and then it says next step partner, and you look at that number, it can be daunting. I mean, it's a fatty number. It's a very big
number. A fat number, indeed.
75 concurrent viewers.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's a feat.
So like, I honestly think if anyone ever asks me for advice in terms of like, all right, now I'm affiliate. Now what do I do next? Always the main thing that I always tell them is just have fun with it. Have fun with it. Roll with it. You know, whatever community that you have, be that community to be 1 person, 5 people, 10 people. Have fun with your community. Best thing going forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's the main point for starting this, for me at least. It wasn't profit, but it was making friends and community and, you know, having fun. And honestly, I think I'm hitting that goal.
Glad to hear that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I am, however, of the philosophy, I don't think affiliate is worth it. I do not.
How come?
So, going into it, this is a little bit more of a philosophy, and it realistically binds down to what you're trying to achieve as a streamer. Affiliate locks you into exclusively streaming on Twitch. It gives them permission for your brand, so your brand is no longer yours. You no longer own it. You sign that away to Twitch. And that is the biggest issues I have there. One, because multi-streaming is the easiest way to get discoverability, because you are reaching out to more than just one singular platform, right? Because Twitch, as most of us know, has zero discoverability. It is horrible for discoverability. While it is the largest and most successful of the current generation of streaming platforms, it has no discoverability because of that. So while there is, yes, a large and dependable audience that can be reached, your chances of reaching it are slim to none. So it's very important for you to use other assets available to you. Social media is a good example. YouTube, if you're exclusively locked into Twitch, for like those of us that have signed the affiliate agreement. So YouTube is going to become our best friend. Social media, basically any way you can push yourself in general. Discord is good for that as well, as long as you avoid the follow for follow nonsense. But that's another conversation for later. Multi-streaming gives you so much benefit compared to the minimal amount of monetization that you'll be able to get from affiliate. Because realistically, when you hit that affiliate, sure, if you have a large community backing you up and you have a decent amount of people who support you, you may get a nice little benefit right out the gate, because they're going to come in and be like, hey, you got affiliate, here's a little bit of money, drop 5 gifted subs, or drop a couple hundred biddies, or, nice little dono or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's your first payout. And then realistically, you're not going to be hitting that next payout for a while. It's just the realistic behind it. You're not going to be receiving anything worthwhile in terms of monetary value. Whereas by comparison, you can multi-stream, right? And say, for example, in this case, right, you just hit the numbers for affiliate on Twitch. So you're reaching at least 3 concurrent viewers on Twitch. Let's say for the same example, though, you're hitting those 3 concurrent viewers on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So you're at a total of 9 across 3 platforms that you're hitting just off of that alone, right? Think of the potential growth in that by multi-streaming and reaching out to these multiple platforms that you're just broadcasting to in general. You're doing nothing else different. You just have multiple platforms that you're reaching out to at the same time. And then once you finally hit those numbers where you're looking at partnership for one of these platforms, that's when you can start to debate. And you'll reach that number a lot quicker than you would if you were to dedicate to a singular platform. But again, that's philosophical, but that's ultimately diving down into what you want to do as a streamer. For someone who's just doing it for fun, or someone who is strictly trying to achieve the monetary value, I think it's still more valuable to do multi-streaming. Because you'll hit that higher gain of monetary value where it actually matters, in a sense, where you can actually make consistent income off of it, versus something where you're going to be getting $100 once a quarter, maybe, if you're lucky, if you're doing well, and very, very slowly growing your audience.
That's some solid points right there.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, it ultimately depends on what you're doing. If you're doing it for fun, do whatever. If you want to get them emotes, go for it. If you want to get them channel points so you can have some fun with the few people that are hanging out, do it. But if you're trying to make a career out of this, that's not what I would recommend. But again, that's more of a philosophical ideal.
Yeah, definitely. I would say
I wasn't even aware you could stream on Facebook.
Yep.
Like
Facebook gaming.
yeah.
I always thought it was a place for older people.
Not
like
for me.
60s, 70s.
Not for me, because they are very against profanity. And I curse like a sailor. Yeah, I curse like a sailor. So
That is true. I didn't even think about multi-streaming prior, like especially on the affiliate grind at first. I was just like hard set on the prize. Like, all right, that's something I gotta do. I'm grinding for affiliate. I'm gonna do it.
Yep.
And then afterwards, I start noticing, okay, now there's YouTube, there's Facebook, there's all these other things too, all these platforms that I didn't even consider prior to doing so. I wouldn't say I regret it, but I would say that if I was privy to it before, I'm not 100% sure that I would have picked streaming off like solely Twitch moving forward. Definitely something that, if anyone's out there also on the affiliate grind, make sure at least do the research, like make sure you're aware of what else is out there. It's not just Twitch,
And on that note too,
live on Twitch.
read over the affiliate agreement too. Read over the affiliate agreement.
I have to read. I'll have to go over it.
Because there is quite a bit in there that is actually limiting in terms of what you can do. So it's very important for that. Not to say that like the YouTube affiliate equivalent, which I actually don't know if there is one. I think it is only partnership. I don't think they have an affiliate program.
That I know of, yeah.
Or Facebook's, because I know they have I believe it's called the Level Up program. read those over very carefully whenever you decide to go and stick with one, because they will limit you on what you can do, and they're going to try and take ownership of your brand, because that's how they're going to get their money off of it. And that's realistically why Twitch has the affiliate agreement, and I do think it's a trap in general. Because you look at the vast majority of people who reach that affiliate status and they're burnt out on streaming because they were doing that crazy grind of just every day streaming and slogging through those 1 to 2 viewer streams, trying to push that number up. When they have so many other things that they could be doing instead that would be beneficial and wouldn't be burning them out on streaming in general. Because streaming, you will burn out on it. It happens. Everyone does. It doesn't matter how big or small you are. Burnout is a thing. Especially when you're doing those longer streams, 8 hours plus, you're gonna hit that. You're gonna hit that wall. But like Nick said, being privy to the knowledge that I know now, I would definitely do things differently, but I don't necessarily regret it.
Yeah, that is
Right.
that's a good way to put it. Like, even though we're making these points in a way, kind of like, hating a little bit on the Twitch affiliate program. But that being said, this journey, us doing this now, us being here, all these choices that we've made, not necessarily would have led me to a Twitch predominant community,
Mhm.
and eventually meeting you guys as well. I would say definitely, it's no regrets, no regrets. Oh man, but yeah, you mentioned those 8 or 9 hour streams. I remember I was on my affiliate grind.
12-hour
and I
plus
was
consistent here.
Yeah, I was playing Amnesia. I think I was playing Amnesia Rebirth, because I think, was that the one that just came out like last year, I think, or something like that?
Yes, I
Is it
believe it was
something?
Rebirth. Yeah.
Rebirth, yeah, where it's just like you're the woman, and you're
Yep.
all of a sudden you're pregnant after crashing on the plane, and you got a freaking spoiler
Spoiler
alert.
alert, yeah, I was
got a
gonna
random
say,
baby.
Spoiler
My
alert
bad.
for the year-old game. Yeah, it's kind of like
For the year-old game,
Gears
yeah.
of War 3. Hate to inform you all. Dom fucking dies.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh
But man,
goodness, yeah.
those streams, they do take their toll for sure. Those
Yeah.
long streams. And Celeste is no stranger to those long stretches. Like, my goodness. I think you average like 8-hour streams, if not 9 plus.
Yep. 14 hours is definitely some peak numbers there, though. I've done multiple
jeez.
14-hour plus. And that's not even like subathons, not even marathons, not full 24s. I attempted a 24, didn't get shit for sleep the night before, so that went down the drain
I
real quick.
remember that.
Yeah, that was a rough one. That was death.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, and then that game didn't help at all because there were so many issues with it, and it was just like, I don't care anymore. And I still haven't touched it since. Oh god.
I'm going to note that down real quick before I ever try my 8 plus stream.
I mean, honestly, it's
like...
Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, I was gonna say I limit myself to 2 hours a day, like per stream or something. So I know they're very short.
4,
but,
4, bruh. 4. I've seen your numbers. Do 4, bruh. Do 4.
I think you can get away with 4, but obviously, like, whatever you're comfortable with in
Yeah,
terms of
exactly.
your physique, whatever you
I would
feel.
do 4, but because I live with... Okay, yeah, I live with my parents, that's the thing, so yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine. But ultimately, right?
Hopefully.
Ultimately, bear in mind, background noise actually isn't that negative of a thing. You may see it that way, but ultimately it's actually a benefit, because realistically, what a lot of people do whenever they're going to these Twitch streams, or anyone's stream in general, they're trying to get a little bit of insight onto who you are as a person, a little bit of your life. That's kind of what they're doing. In a sense, we are faux celebrities. In our sense, we're super small faux celebrities, but we are faux celebrities. We're an internet personality.
No pictures.
Yeah.
Paparazzi, hold the pictures, please.
No autographs until after the show.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure by now my few streamers know definitely who my little brother is. As I say, Michele, sal de aquí, or Michele, get out of here in Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys heard.
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro.
Yeah.
I play games with you. What do you mean? I'm usually a little off put if you don't say it at least 3 or 4 times a session. But yeah, like we've sitting there, you and I specifically have sat down and played Apex for 4 or 5 hours at a time. Stream it, the whole thing, bro.
Yeah, that's true.
Just stream it. We're playing already. Just stream it.
As well.
May as well. You're already doing it.
Sometimes.
Exactly. Like, I'm one of those people who benefits heavily from streaming with multiple people or streaming with someone else in general because I bounce off of people really well. That's usually where I shine because I'm a shit talker at heart, and that's what I'm really good at. And those that play with me know that I'm joking 9 times out of 10. Sometimes they take it a little bit to heart, and then it's just like, okay, well, okay,
so
my
be it.
bad. So bad. Yeah, shit happens. But ultimately, I do it because I bounce off of them real well, and it generally creates a very fun and engaging environment. So just stream it. That's the thing I've learned. If you're doing something, just stream it.
But definitely, if you add, like, I would like to add like an asterisk. Oh, actually, yeah, I like to add a asterisk to that for sure. Like, only if you feel you have the energy for it too. You know, like, if you're not on cameras, you can kind of get away with it, I'd say. But if you're on cams and you have like no energy, like it's very visible. You can put it on your face. You're like on the computer playing games. You're like, or like I'm having a slow grin. I have a crap poker face, so like I can't even do the face that I want to do right now. But it's so visible, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen people. I tune into their stream and like the WTF face Muffin bit. Like I can't. So many times I tune into their stream, and it's just like
they look dead. They look
dead, and it makes me want to stay there,
Yeah, because there's no energy, and that's realistically what you're feeding to your audience, and that's why it's super important. And the caveat to that, and I guess I'll surmise it a little bit, is make sure that you have the energy to do it. Not so much like, more or less make sure you're in the mood. Like, if you're in a good mood and you're having a good time, that's when I say stream it. But if you're just sitting there slogging through it like, ugh, this is a chore, oh, this is horrible, nah, don't do it. It's not going to be worth it. It's not going to pay dividends. But if you're sitting there having a grand old time, sitting there, bullshitting left and right like I usually do, stream it. There's very rare occasion where I'm in that mood and I'm not streaming.
Yeah, I understand. I actually had to put off sometimes, like I didn't like feel like playing set games, so like switched it out, and then I'd have a better time,
Absolutely, yeah.
I understand.
And that's just avoiding burnout in general. I'm a big MMORPG fan in general. Burnout is one of the biggest contenders for game contention for me, right? I play old school RuneScape to this day. To this day, that game has been out for over a decade, I believe.
Playing RuneScape right now? Like occasionally? Wow, that I did not know.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, it's honestly, they got it right.
But honestly, the only reason I'm still going to this day is because I still avoid burnout. I don't do the longer grindy sessions that I used to do way back in the day because I had a lot more motivation for it. I don't have that motivation now, so every once in a while I'll just hop on, do some shit, fucking chill, have a good time, and then hop off at the end of the day. I'm not going to sit there and slog through.
Isn't that the point of streaming in general? Like, have a good day, have a good time, entertain.
Yep.
Not just yourself.
Because you are entertainment. You are delivering entertainment, whatever form or variety it comes in. Some people are
joke.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry. My bad.
Do it for the stream. Yeah, do it for the Vine.
Do it for the stream. Yeah.
Do it for the Vine. Oh my god, I haven't heard that in years.
But yes,
it's fine.
Obviously, if you don't have time for those longer streams, it makes sense. Like, if you have schedules to work around, work is a very common thing for a lot of people. You do what you got to do to hit that grind because it is a grind, no matter which one you're going for, affiliate or partner. And then it becomes a bit more of a struggle. And so that 2-hour limit, like you mentioned, Nomad, makes a lot more sense. But if you have the availability to do longer streams and you're feeling it, I say continue. Don't stop. Like, if you're in a good mood, keep that train growing. Keep that gravy train rolling. Because you're going to benefit from it more in the long run.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
You're good.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Honestly, if it was just me, I would obviously hit like 5-6 hour streams, like no problem. But it's the fact that I have to work around the house, help out in general. So
that's
it's
just
like,
So
I have commissions to do.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, you do have the art thing as well, but that's the work thing that I'm talking about. Yeah, that's the work that I was talking about. You may not see it as such, but it is more or less your work. But ultimately, a lot of that can be boiled down to time management, right? I'm prior military. For those of you who don't know, I served 5 years in the military, in the Army specifically. Time management was one of the things that I learned very, very quickly. It is a very key point in the military because you have deadlines to hit. You have very consistent timetables to hit. Convoys are a very good example. You know about a convoy maybe about 2 weeks in advance, maybe sometimes a month if your team is good and they get you information ahead of time. So that way you have that month to prepare, and then immediately, as soon as I know that, I have that checklist starting in my brain. I'm compartmentalizing every single piece of that problem to break it down into small, manageable pieces. And so that's what you kind of have to do whenever you're trying to juggle sleep, games, streaming, work, eating, taking care of the house, the kids,
Pets.
whatever your situation may exactly. Yeah, because the pets. Like I have to spend 2 to 3 hours a day each time that I let my dogs out in the morning and then at night after I let finish up my streams or my gaming sessions. So I'm spending a good amount of time with them. I'm not ignoring them, because if I ignore them, what's the point of having them?
Yeah.
But that's another philosophy for a different
Really?
conversation.
That's what my dad said the other day. And
Yeah.
he doesn't do anything with us, so.
Yeah. But that's kind of what I'm getting at, though, right? Because
Oh,
you fit out those time slots and you figure it out. Like, I'm a lot more free spirited whenever it comes to my timetables now, because I'm out of the military. I live off of my pension. I sit at home all day. Professional bum life is 10 out of 10. For those of you that can, I highly recommend it. It's great for your mental health. Anywho, so I learned to juggle that, and I basically have a mental map in my head at all times of how I'm going to configure the day. I may wake up at starting time or different times each day, and may wake up earlier or later depending on the day or the night before. But ultimately, immediately as soon as I wake up, it's like, all right, do this, this, and this. Then I have free time from here to there. Do what I want. And that's usually stream or play games in general and just have a good time. Or some days when I'm taking my recharges, because I do need my mental refresh like everyone does, because mental health is the most important thing I can stress in streaming.
Yeah.
I'll just take the day. I won't get out of bed after I take care of all that stuff. Just lay back down in bed, watch TV on this nice TV right there that y'all see. Or just sit there and do whatever on my phone, Talked with my girlfriend who's overseas right now and whatever. Just get that mental refresh.
That nice TV that y'all see, but I have your TV cropped out.
Yeah. Oh, well, you can see the nice bed over there instead.
Yeah, we only see the green screen and your bed on the other side.
Yeah, my nice and messy bed that I haven't made today. No point in making it when I
since
have
I
a
sleep with
nice
my girlfriend here, I
90-pound
actually
loaf
have
of
to make-
bread that'll just mess it up for me. And I'm sorry I wasn't done talking. I'm sorry, Nomad.
No, sorry, I jumped in.
Yeah, you're good. Oh, what a spiel. My bad. So yeah.
What a spiel.
What a spiel.
Hey.
Spiel. Spielberg.
Well, we actually covered quite a few of the topics that we had lined up for that. So
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Let me see. What do we want to talk about? Yeah, we've literally covered like 90% of the topics off of that one big tangent conversation. Good job, us. We did it all naturally.
Hey.
So Nomad, do you have your own Discord community? If so,
I do not.
Okay, you do not. All right. So
Yet.
do you have reasoning against it not having it yet, or is there a specific reason? Why don't you have one?
No, not really. First of all, I haven't considered it, and when I have, I'm like, yeah, nobody wants to join that. There's too little people for now, so it's until I get, I don't know, a bigger community, I'll probably whip something up.
Why wait?
Yeah, I'm with
Lazy,
Celeste on
that's all.
this.
Why wait?
Even if you have like 2-3 people, like
Mhm.
like,
It all starts somewhere, homie.
Right here. Yeah, you just gotta make it. You gotta start it out, and
Because bear in mind too,
it's awesome.
your entire audience from Twitch is not going to come to your Discord community. Start it now. As people come in, if they want to stick around with you and get a little bit more from you, that's an easy way to do it. Do it now.
Like,
Don't procrastinate.
It doesn't have to be active. It can just be a place where it'll announce when you go live. It'll post whatever social media platforms you make out, like tweets and whatnot.
Mhm.
And you can add like fun little bots. Like, it really is like my Discord thing. I just do Pokemon with surprise from time to time, and and it's fun. Honestly, interact with just one person can be fun.
I can't really talk on my community because mine's a little self-sufficient right now, so I don't involve myself with it anymore.
It's itself.
Yeah, it's its own
its own
entity.
thing
Yeah, I believe we're sitting at like 300 plus members on that one. So
Oh damn.
that's just a whole nother entity entirely though.
Alright, and then
But yeah, why wait? Get it done.
hopefully it doesn't take
Start it
over.
up. It's just
Do
super
it.
simple, homie. Not to mention, learning how to
I'll
navigate
do it.
Discord and how to create your own is actually a beneficial thing because Discord is the main. Excuse me. One of the main voice entities on PC right now. Curse is still a thing a little bit.
100%.
Skype is still a little bit of the thing. Zoom is taking over a bit with classes and such, but that's on that side of things. But why get it done, get familiar with it because it's a large learning curve. Take it in bits and pieces because there's a lot to learn with that.
Dang, is Microsoft? Because Zap just brought up saying Microsoft might ruin it. Is Microsoft already has it, or is it acquiring?
They are looking to acquire.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that's bad.
I did not know.
They are in the process of acquiring. So we will see.
Would that mean that Mac users such as I would not be able to use Discord, right?
No, that is not what that
No.
means. No, it just means that the
okay.
ownership is going to shift to Microsoft. Whether or not future PTB builds will reflect those changes and will gear more towards Microsoft, that's more likely to happen. They will definitely favor their PC users over Mac for sure because Mac is their largest contender. But only time will tell how that one's going to roll if they do acquire it. It is on the table. Nothing is solidified in stone yet, as I know.
Yet.
But I mean, I get in terms of that too. Don't bring up that evil Gazap. Don't mention that.
Yeah,
That's a horrid thought. Anywho, in terms of Microsoft acquisitions, the buying out of Bethesda. How do y'all feel about that? I know it's a little bit older of a topic, but I want to get your 2 cents on that.
Well,
Especially for you,
don't really
Nomad,
have an
because I know
opinion.
you've played quite a few of the Fallout games. So
just one.
just Fallout 4. That's the only one you played.
Yeah, I really don't have many games to be honest.
My friend, you need to get Fallout New Vegas and get on that train because that is
I
the
will.
way.
Someday.
That is the way. It's cheap, I believe.
Is it on PS4?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Maybe not.
Nah, frick.
Maybe not. But yeah, fucking. So for those of you who don't know, a little bit of background for the current state of gaming nowadays, Bethesda is actually responsible for microtransactions. For those of you who didn't know, Oblivion, the horse armor for $3, way back in the day, the first ever microtransaction in video gaming.
Seriously?
A little piece right there.
EA.
No, EA, no. EA popularized the loot box model. That's EA. And EA definitely makes, I believe, over 50% of their actual annual revenue comes from Ultimate Team, which is their microtransaction system where you buy card packs for your teams in order to build your teams. That is the vast majority of their revenue in this current day and age, to show you
That sucks.
how EA sits. And this is generally why I avoid a lot of AAA companies nowadays. That and also typically,
Hungry money.
yeah, they're super money hungry. It's 9 times out of 10, it's a cash grab whenever they release anything. The bigger thing for me is usually AAA companies tend to prioritize pushing the product out in an less than ideal state, is the way I'll put it. Too many games nowadays come out buggy, broken, or just in general unenjoyable because of the gameplay loop that these larger companies tend to develop and stick to because it's a formula that works. And so the higher ups, because it's the higher ups, it's not the developers pining for this. The higher ups are like,
Fallout 76.
this makes money. Yeah, we're in Fallout 76, but that's Bethesda again. And Bethesda has definitely been on a downward trend,
Yeah.
But again, like, look at Skyrim. It was buggy on release. It's been buggy. There are still bugs that haven't been fixed to this day. But that was a different kind of enjoyable buggy because, most of the time it wasn't game-breaking glitches. Usually it was something absolutely quirky or insane. Ragdoll physics. Yeah, exactly. That made it, a part of the experience in a sense. And I guess that was part of the issue as gaming culture because we accepted it and we didn't openly revolt at it. Hype trains, or hype releases, I should say, are another good point of contention with that one as well.
Right.
My favorite example will always be, to this day, No Man's Sky. My favorite example of an overhyped release that just absolutely flopped. However, that is quite the hero story and the comeback story because after 2 years of them just shutting down, not talking to anyone, they worked on the game. and basically re-released it. And it's actually an enjoyable game now with a lot of the
they did
features
well.
that they promised originally. But look at the difference. It was 2 years past its initial release. After X amount of refunds, after X amount of issues that they had, and so it probably killed all liability they have as a company.
But now they're back and better than ever.
I wouldn't say better than ever, but yeah.
But they're back.
Yeah,
Well,
they're back.
It's a good comeback, at least.
Yeah, but will I ever buy from them again? Probably not. And that's where I stand on that because, you know, burnt once, shame on me. Burnt twice, shame on you. Not happening again. Simple as
And
that.
3 times, how did it happen?
Yeah, exactly. At that point, like, what's going on? You know, even like CD Projekt Red, which a lot of people were claiming for quite a while that was going to be the savior of the gaming industry, you know, cutting back on crunch time because that's a huge issue in the development industry, because of release tables and all that, so on and so forth, and they're pushing these dates that need to be adjusted. And then look at Cyberpunk; it got delayed 5 times, 6 times,
Right.
and still
Doesn't matter
released,
at all.
broken, and a disappointment.
Yeah.
And I think that's honestly, leaving the hype aside that everyone was super excited for the game. Just that aside, it just released in a state that was not befitting what they were talking about and what they were trying to deliver.
Also advertising, essentially.
Not necessarily. Just they
I
were.
I mean,
saying that like the game that I love the example in terms of overhype and whatnot. I 100% thought you were gonna say Cyberpunk. I
Well,
don't know.
So, like, in terms of mythos, lore, and the game world itself, 10 out of 10 in Cyberpunk. The gameplay, it suffers heavily. The loop of actually grinding gear is beyond idiotic to me in a game like that. A very story-driven game. Why? Why is that a mechanic? Why is that a thing? If I get a specific gun that does a specific thing, let me get it and let me use it for the rest of the campaign if I feel so inclined. Right? Why do I have to regrind it in order to get a better version of that same exact gun in a game that is entirely revolving around story and mythos and world building? It makes no sense. There was just a lot of simple decisions, in a sense, that made no sense at all in terms of how a game is played. And this is coming from a company that delivers The Witcher 3, one of the most amazing games ever made. That I still play to this day too. I still revisit it every once in a while.
Yeah.
yeah.
But you know, and then you look at the live service model. That's another thing too. I'm personally not a massive fan, even though I was a hardcore Destiny player for 4 years, all the way from Alpha, Destiny 1, to Destiny 2. I believe it was the Forsaken DLC. And that's at the end of that is where I dropped off towards the release of the Black Armory, I believe.
Rest in peace, Kate 6.
Yes, rest in peace, Cade 6. You'll always be missed. Anywho, but the live service model, I'm not a fan because the way I see it, it's an excuse for these companies to release a buggy, incomplete game for full price, take your money, and then build it as it goes.
Yeah.
So
And then ask for more money for
Yes.
DLC.
yes, look at Anthem, perfect example. Live service model,
Oof.
absolute piece of shit on release. So much wrong with it. The developers didn't listen to the community, what we wanted, what we thought would make the game better in terms of balance and everything, because there was a lot of valid criticism that went up against that, and the devs refused to listen to it, whether it was because of higher up orders or because of their own obstinate ways. Because you know, some companies are like that. They're like, you're not a game developer. You don't know shit. Why are you talking? You know, where some of us have been playing looter shooters for 10 plus years. I've been playing Borderlands for God knows how long. Destiny. You know, I've been playing all that. Looter shooters are my domain for sure. You know, so I have valid ways. I know how a good game plays when it's a good looter shooter. Not that I'm the perfect example, of course, but live service model released, buggy piece of shit. No one wanted to play it. It died out real quick, and it's still dead to this day. And in fact, BioWare is actually losing a lot of their higher potential CEOs and all of their hired developers and all that shit, and they're just going to different companies. They're jumping ship. Great sign. And you know what those developers were assigned to? The fucking Anthem project, because they haven't given up on it. But the developers are jumping ship, so take that with a grain of salt, I suppose.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very good for sure.
Like the captain jumping ship,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's usually a pretty good sign that something is doomed, to say the least. And again, that's coming from a great company, BioWare. They brought us Mass Effect, which up until the recent ones, Andromeda, which wasn't exactly the greatest example of Mass Effect, but the Mass Effect trilogy, which was absolutely fantastic. And then you can look at the fiasco with the ending of Mass Effect 3. A bit more gaming history for you, those of you who don't know. Mass Effect 3, when it originally launched, the ending was so opposed to by players, openly opposed to, by the way, by a vast majority. The devs actually redid the entirety of the ending to satisfy the player base.
I'm not sure if I'm correct on this, but I don't think the player base liked much how The Last of Us Chapter 2 ended as well, in general.
Okay. Last of Us Chapter 2 is a little bit separate because that's a different, that's not BioWare.
Exactly.
I
know, but as in game.
That's, I'll get into that one in a second. Because that is, again, developers being out of touch with their community. All right. So I'll jump into that right now, and you'll get me on a nice little rant here because that is one of my favorite pieces to rant on. Perfect example was with the Game Awards this year, or last year rather, where it won so many categories that it does not have any place being in because it was mediocrity at its finest, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Last of Us, the original. Absolutely fantastic game that gets you to love Joel and Ellie, the two main characters, the two main protagonists. You spend so much time with them, building the world, building these characters, and watching them evolve as people. And they still keep a lot of those subtle nuances throughout the game. There's one point where you're at the theme park, or I can't remember exactly where you are, and Ellie is talking about like the stars in the galaxy and stuff that you found out at the very beginning of the game, and it's a subtle nuance shifting back, and it shows you the character progression. Even though she's changed so much throughout the course of the story, she's still that same girl at heart, per se, right? Fast forward, Last of Us 2. Why the fuck am I playing as a new character I don't give a shit about? After spending 8+ hours getting involved with Joel and Ellie. Aside from the fact, spoiler alert, for those of you who haven't played it, they killed Joel in the first 30 fucking minutes of the game. Okay, fine, fair enough. Story points. All right, cool. You can do that. That's okay. I'm okay with that. But then they sit there and demonize Ellie. They demonize the other main protagonist from the first game, forcing the new character. I can't even remember her name. New female protagonist, super buff, ripped. I can't remember. She's dope character. Don't get me wrong.
Let's just call her that.
She's a really dope character. Don't get me wrong. I really like the idea of her character. Super empowered female presence. I really like the idea of it, right? I don't like, however, how they fucking shoehorn her right down our fucking throats into liking her.
She-Hulk.
Yeah, She-Hulk, yes. Basically, the way it played, right? So she is the one who kills Joel at the very beginning of the game. And you actually spend a good bit of time playing as her. To point out the demonization of Ellie versus how the devs force you to love this new character. For example, new character, pets the dogs, plays with the dogs. Ellie, you're forced to kill the dogs. And I mean forced. You do not have a choice in the matter. You have to kill them in order to progress the game, right? Simple little subtle nuances like that. And so Ellie goes out on this mission hell-bent on revenge. Hell-bent. Because she just killed Joel, right? Her father figure. Because she lost her father. And Joel's been with her through all this time, through thick and thin, and they have these super subtle or super nice character moments where they touch on like the past with Ellie and Joel, Joel's guitar, especially at the ending of the game where Ellie stops, goes back to the house after she lost everything and just sits there playing this super sad, super slow song. And it breaks me a little bit. So don't get me wrong. Last of Us 2 did some things really well, story-wise. The vast majority of it, though, is a heaping pile of shit because they shit down your throat with whatever you want.
Dang.
Did I want to go into Last of Us 2 playing a new character? No, fuck no. I was stoked to be playing as fucking Ellie and Joel again. I was looking so forward to seeing how they grow even further in this new chapter, in this new experience, after they've already accomplished so much. But no, we get a new character, and she's She-Hulk, and yeah. And then even at the end, right, the very climactic ending where Ellie finally gets her chance for revenge. She's
Like,
choking
nah,
her the
I'm out.
fuck out and drowning her. And she stops. And she lets her go. And that's it. It's like, nah, kill the bitch. Nah.
I mean, you already killed like what, like 70, even 90% of her like soldiers and shit.
Well,
Why
not
finish the
soldiers,
game,
but
you know?
yes, people of her group. Yeah, like this is like the amount of blood on Ellie's hands at the end at that point in the game is absurd. Why the fuck she stops when she could finally achieve what she set out to do after losing everything and sacrificing everything? Devs
Nah.
wanted the new character to live.
It's
And
kinda-
that's me.
character, if
Rant
you will.
done. I'm done. I'm gonna stop.
Oh man, I actually have not played it.
I
don't
mean,
have
if you
to-
are a fan of the Last of Us series, right? You played the first one, you loved it. I do recommend playing it because it is, like it or not, the next iteration of the Last of Us. We don't have a say in the matter, so that's what we get. And it is an experience. It is it is a decent game in a sense. I don't like the creative direction they took it in at all, and so I will never be replaying it again because I do not enjoy it for that aspect. But as a game, it is enjoyable. It's not bad. Do I think it's worth a full $60? Probably not. No, I would wait until it's on sale for about 40. I'd say it's worth it then. But again, back to the whole Game Awards thing. The game didn't do anything spectacular in terms of mechanics, anything really. Like, it didn't reinvent anything. It didn't do anything special, yet somehow it still won at the Game Awards, which, for those of you who don't know, the Game Awards is very similar to political lobbying. It's powered by money. Easiest way to put it. Which is why when I saw Ghost of Tsushima, another game released exclusively for the PS4, which if you have not played and have a PS4, check out Ghost of Tsushima. One of the best games I have ever played. It is fantastic.
That's next on my list, honestly.
It is an
excited to play it.
absolute treat to play. Absolute treat from start to finish. And it has one of the highest... Actually, no. I stand corrected. If I'm not mistaken, on PlayStation, it has the highest completion rate of any game released on the console.
That's wild. That's pretty crazy.
And this is an open world game, which can take you anywhere from, I believe the shortest is completed, not speedrunning excluded, because speedrunning is an entirely different entity. The average playtime is roughly about 8 hours, if I'm not mistaken, anywhere up to 20 hours. And if you're doing platinum, like I did, I platinumed the game on PlayStation because I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I even enjoyed the grinding for the platinum trophy, which for those of you who don't know what a platinum trophy is, it is when you achieve every single other achievement in the game. That is the penultimate one, saying you did everything. Good job. And you have experienced everything the game has to offer. So,
Damn.
but yes, if you have not played Ghost of Tsushima, hands down worth it, even at full price, $60. Absolute treat to play. And it really delves back to what I enjoy gaming as, which is an art form. And it nails it. It is gorgeous. It is fun to play. The story is well done.
Story? Yeah.
The ambiance and the sound design in that game are beyond compare. It is a shining star. I highly recommend play it. Again, not sponsored. This is just me saying, as a gamer, if you have a PlayStation, play it. It is worth it.
Not sponsored by the game, but sponsored by PlayStation instead.
I can dream. I wish.
Someday.
Mad.
And even the voice actor who played the games live on Twitch, he streamed them. And he actually, if you go to the subreddit, I believe it's r/Ghost of Tsushima, there's actually a lot of fun interactions that people did, cashing in rewards with him for the voice actor behind the main protagonist in Ghost of Tsushima. And they did some really memey shit with him, and it was fantastic. He dons the mask of the main character and goes, "He turned himself into a pickle. Funniest shit I've ever seen." Simple memey shit like that.
No way,
It's
really?
absolute
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Oh yeah, dude. The man's an absolute treat. And I guess we can talk about this is going to be me babbling more and more, I noticed. But We can talk about the E3 reveal, where people were extremely opposed to the fact that the gentleman who came on stage to play the bamboo flute, I can't remember the actual name of the instrument right now, that's evading me right now, but he's a white man. And people were extremely upset, completely unaware of the fact that that man is one of 3 of the actual masters of that instrument in the world. And the other 2 are very exclusively in Japan and I believe China and would not leave. He's the only one that who was willing to come and perform. But again, master of the instrument, trained by one of the previous masters. Is there anyone more fitting to come on stage and play that? I don't think so. Regardless of ethnicity.
What does it take to become a master at that instrument? Like
a lot. There's a lot that goes into that. Because that's a very time-honored tradition, from my understanding. Like an extremely time-honored tradition, and is very old-fashioned in today's day and age. So interest in it is very minimal, I would say. But years of practice and years of training, I'm sure. And
Years
yet,
of tradition being passed on.
exactly, yes, yeah. And again, ethnicity aside, like, why does ethnicity matter? He's not appropriating the culture. He's legitimately a master of the art and master of the craft.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not exclusive to any specific ethnicity. It's not, you know.
Pretty hype. And the people who judged or like got angry were pretty fucking hypocritical, if you ask me.
Yeah, absolutely. They were definitely hypocritical. I mean, I guess that's another topic we can talk about too. Cultural appropriation in video games.
Oh, yeah, that's a good topic to touch.
That's
Yeah.
it's an interesting one for sure. And I guess Ghost of Tsushima is an actual example of that, although it's not, or it was pined as such by a lot of people who were against the game, because it was made by a predominantly white company, you know. And it touches extremely heavily on a lot of Japanese tradition, Japanese lore, Japanese mythos in general, and just the Japanese culture as a whole. And so some people were vehemently opposed to that idea. What are your thoughts on more or less what actual cultural appropriation is in video gaming?
Honestly, I don't really I don't really have much of a say on this matter. It's not like I've thought of it thoroughly or anything, or I'm opposed to it.
Yeah.
But as long as they're not being stereotypical or like being, assholes to it, if you will.
Well, I mean, everything has its place, and that's my opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't really have much say, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just cultural appropriation itself, once the word is tossed out, right, it kind of becomes a little bit of a glass shattering effect for some. Like once they said, oh man, sorry. Once they said, like, you see, a good example is the other day I saw a post, not about a video game, but about just in general, a little girl dressed up as she's dressed up in a traditional geisha attire. She's having a tea party, and she has like, the whole official makeup on and everything like that. And there's Reddit posts about it, of course, and Reddits are going crazy, right?
Yeah.
People are on one side thinking, oh my goodness, how can their parent allow this? And another side of people like, guys, it's just a kid who's experiencing culture, like some people don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, like one thing that I've noticed is with this cancel culture is words are thrown around when they don't necessarily apply. In that case, what I would see it as, if she's going the extra mile with the full like traditional experience and not claiming that that's what she is, that's not cultural appropriation. That's experiencing the culture, right?
Yeah.
Whenever I typically consume any sort of oriental dish, I usually eat it with chopsticks. Why? Because that's how it was intended to be consumed. That's the normal of utensils that they use to eat it. And so that's how I experience it, and that's how I would eat it. Just like, with a lot of other dishes, outside of that, I don't necessarily use a fork and a spoon. I'll use other specific utensils for that exact reason, right? Am I appropriating the culture? No, I'm just consuming it the way it was intended to be consumed, and
Yeah.
experiencing the way it was meant to be experienced. That's the way I see it. But I have been accused of cultural appropriation. They're like, "Why are you using chopsticks? You're white." I'm like, "The fuck does that have to do with anything?"
Seriously?
Excuse me? Yeah, no, I was eating at a restaurant with my girlfriend. I've actually noticed it a lot more with the Spanish community. I get a lot of guff from them because my girlfriend is Spanish, so is her entire family. The grandparents actually accept me. The mother does not, but that's for different reasons entirely. The father is okay with me. We get along, but that's personal info. We'll avoid that. But there are times when I have been. I went down to El Paso, Texas, with my girlfriend, and we went to a very traditional Mexican restaurant. And I got a lot of stern looks, and I even had a woman come up to me and was like, "Why are you here?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You're white. Why are you here?" And I'm like, "What? I'm not allowed to enjoy authentic Mexican cuisine because I'm white?" You know, and so it never makes sense to me. You know, I've had the experience of myself, and I just looked at her like what? Why are you trying to gatekeep food? Like, what have I ever done to you?
That's the word. Sorry.
What did you say?
Like gatekeeping. That's like a key word. Like,
Yeah, it's gatekeeping. And a lot of times that I've noticed is a lot of times that gatekeeping actually comes from people who aren't of that ethnicity or of that persuasion or that culture or whatever you want to call it. It's typically from the outside in that they're like, "Why are you doing this?" Like, do you really have a place to say? Why are you speaking on their behalf? They're more than capable of doing it themselves if they have an issue with it.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I come from the military. I'm no stranger to every ethnicity. I've experienced it all. Like, one of the quickest things I learned, and I found out because there were people in my unit who were not liked by a certain sergeant. And I found that out because there is a very common thing or theme. If a Filipino family does not invite you to their barbecues or to eat with you, they do not like you. So I noticed a very select set of individuals who were never invited. So I counted my graces on that one, because the food was amazing and they were absolutely amazing people.
Yeah. Their barbecues are something else.
Oh
It's
my!
so good.
Oh.
I was blessed to have one of my friends Filipino, and he's like a block away from me. So good.
So good. Oh yeah, absolutely. And just the culture or the environment that they produce too is something else. It is so harmonious. It is absurd.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's you know, but again, like, did I get looks from a couple individuals of the family because I am a pasty white motherfucker? Yeah, sure. But after I talked to them, they're like, "Okay, all right. He's funny. We'll keep him."
yeah, he's funny.
You know.
Right.
I guess that's one of my selling points, I suppose.
Charisma.
But yeah, like the cancel culture nowadays just baffles me, and I don't understand the ideology behind it. Like, I get it if you have an issue with something and you're being vocal about it, but why are you using these targets, more or less? And in a lot of instances, it's very misjudged and very inaccurate. Like, it doesn't necessarily apply to these situations, but because it's a trend and people are just trying to hop on it for their second of fame, I guess, as a way to justify it.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the nail there. Like that those seconds of fame, or those just hyping on that train, jumping on that train.
Yeah, hype train.
It's
That's a train more like it.
Yeah,
it's disgusting. It really is.
Disgusting is there.
I would say sometimes, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Like in the cases of like the grooming, where it is genuine issues that are pedophilic in nature, and actually I probably shouldn't have said that word, but you know, that's beside the point. Because that's a big no-no, I believe, on YouTube. So rest in peace. Monetization that we don't have. Anywho,
just bleep it, you know, like bleep.
But yeah, so like in terms of that nature, right? Absolutely. Protecting people is one thing, but like accusations are another.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a very heavy topic in general too, that we just really brushed through.
We just touched, yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, it just baffles me. And I don't know whether it's because I'm out of touch or what, but I don't see the reasoning behind it for a lot of this. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
We're like both Les and I were in the same generation, and slowly, even though whether we like it or not, times are for sure changing from what it used to be for us.
There's a boomer around here.
There's a boomer.
Oh
Boomer
Lord.
located.
Sorry, my cat just sneezed and bumped her head on the window.
Yeah, I heard that.
She looked around. She's like, "The heck just happened?" Surprise sneeze.
Goodness.
Things are changing for sure. Yeah.
So I don't know if you're necessarily outside of our generation. I know you're a bit on the younger side, Nomad.
Very young. Side.
Yeah, younger. You're not like excessively younger than we are because we're both still fairly young in a sense. But
yeah, true. But you guys seen things that I have not yet seen.
Well, yeah, I've been on this earth a good years more than you have,
Definitely.
And I've kind of been forced into the meat grinder on some things a lot quicker than a lot of others have had because of my military experience, because you get put into an environment, whether you like it or not, surrounded by individuals of every cloth of life that have been through all sorts of different experiences. And I can't tell you how many days at the end of the day we all finished a fucking shitty day at work where we're just fucking pounding our heads against shit the entire day. And first thing we do, we all head back right to our rooms, grab a couple beers, go outside, sit by a campfire, and smoke the night away. All right, and we'll sit there and share stories and swap shit and just generally bullshit. This is also where my fucking knack for shit talking comes in, of course, because we do a lot of that, especially at work. And so you learn a lot, and I learned a lot about a lot of different cultures because there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of different walks of life that are present in the U.S. military because they want U.S. citizenship or multiple other reasons because it's a great opportunity. I'm not going to tell anyone to go join the military. Fuck that. Don't do it if you don't want to. Beside the point. But, I learned a lot, and I adopted a lot of things from a lot of different cultures into my cooking and into a lot of different parts of my life that I do and do differently now because of it. Like fried chicken is fucking life. And I learned a lot of good ways to cook fried chicken. Learned a lot of, I've learned a lot of different recipes from a lot of different cultures, like authentic Italian cuisine, Filipino cuisine. Obviously, we already talked about Filipino barbecues. I learned, I paid attention. I was like, this is too good not to learn. Give me the details, please.
Quickly taking down notes.
Yeah,
kind of
exactly. And there were some things they wouldn't give me because it's family secrets and so on and so forth. But it's like, you know what I'm saying? How about if I get a little bit more of this liquor into you? Huh? Like, come on.
Nothing liquor can't solve, or open up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that was just the camaraderie in general that you harvest and you grow whenever you join the military, as long as you're not an utter shithead that's hated by everyone.
Right.
Which, isn't hard to do, actually. Just do your part, bare minimum. No one will give a shit. Don't ask me how I got so good as a 6'6" individual, weighing over 200 pounds, the vast majority of my military career, at disappearing and how I would go unnoticed, but I did. That's all I'm going to say.
The most
ninja things, dude.
Ninja, yeah.
Doing your thing and staying low profiles, the way to go unnoticed, essentially, right?
Something like that, yeah. We'll go with that, yeah. That's it, yeah.
Surprisingly, last year, I almost joined the military by not signing some kind of contract saying that I was like in studying and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was basically here where I live, they grab a bunch of numbers depending on which years, and last year they took my year when I was born.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm saying it right, but basically I almost went into military regime.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, I totally forgot to do it. And yeah. It's probably gonna happen this year, but I'm gonna try to be prepared.
Okay. And I know this question may not necessarily apply too much to you, again, because you don't have the same level of life experience that Nick and I do. But I'm going to ask you anyways. What have you taken from other things that you've done in your life, or hobbies, anything of that sort, prior to becoming a streamer, that you've used in your streaming career in order to make better of it, or that helps you innately, just by naturally having done something similar for so long?
To be honest, nothing.
Nothing?
Before this,
young blood
I used
over
to
here.
I had no hobbies essentially. I didn't have friends. I moved too much around places, so I didn't really stay in contact. The few people I have stayed in contact either felt dropped out or don't talk much.
Mhm.
Essentially, I'm a loner. I used to draw, but then I stopped doing it. I used to do boxing, which I actually stopped doing like a year ago when the pandemic started. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that is fair.
Last year was actually my last year of school, essentially.
Mhm.
Gonna start graduate next year.
Mhm.
I mean, university.
Oh, good on
And
you.
it was completely digital, and I was like bored half of the time, so I didn't really make friends either. So that's why I started streaming. Like, it's past time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Bouncing off that question, I think one thing that I used with our extra years is networking
Mhm.
and working off networking. Prior to me going into education, I was in New York doing business,
Mhm.
doing accounting and stuff like that. And what is New York if not just a big pool of networking?
Mhm.
And anything that we do in there was you're networking. You're sitting down waiting for class, you're networking. You're on the train, you're networking. You're on the
Mhm.
subway, you're networking. You're out in a bar for drinks, you're networking.
Yep.
You know, and once I found out that going into this, including streaming and gaming now, that there is this thing called networking in this too. And I figured, okay, well, let's roll with that. And honestly, that for sure, I think, is one thing that prior to it, I saw like little to no progress. And then once the networking clicked, then that's when the progress started rolling. Sure.
Mhm. For sure. You know, I'm gonna touch back on it because it was the largest part of my life. Surprise, surprise, military coming back. And I'm gonna avoid the networking since Nick already talked about it because that's an innate part of the military as well. It's very ingrained in the culture. I have my contacts through the military that I still talk to this day. If I ever needed anything, especially in terms of my career field, if I wanted to go back to the job that I did in the military, I could get some very decent positions very easily because I have good contacts that would rate me highly and be like, yeah, this man knows his shit. This man knows what he's doing. He'll take care of you. He's got you. So on and so forth. But to avoid that, convoys. That's where I'm going to go with this one. Convoys. Those wonderful 12 hours plus of just driving a truck through the roads of Germany in a line of 3 other vehicles, driving ammunition or what other hazmat, because I was the only fucker who could do it. And so I was always stuck with that damn job at 3 a.m. or whatever horrid time they had me do it. Yeah, that gets me going. And I can't tell you how many days in the military that I had that were just literally consisted of a breakfast of a 20-ounce can of Red Bull and 3 cigarettes. That was a very, very common staple in my diet. Nutritious to say the least. Cancer and kidney stones, can't ask for much more. And to this day, I still don't regret it because honestly, fucking some of the best rides I've ever had in my life, because a lot of times I was sitting there with a higher up right next to me in the truck because we were the commanding vehicle, and so I would have the higher up sitting next to me as my truck commander, TC, and he would be driving with me the entire time. And so I would sit there, have some great conversations, and get a lot of experience from a lot of these older individuals. And that again dabbles back into the networking, but the part that I'm going home with this with is the fact that I can stay up for long periods of time doing monotonous shit and keep a good conversation going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has to help out with streaming.
Oh, absolutely, it does. I'll sit there and perfect example, this podcast right now. Look how much I'm fucking talking. I don't shut up, all right? I'll keep this conversation going until it's dead, beaten with a stick, and then lying there begging for a leave.
Let's hope it doesn't get to that point.
Oh, it's going to. That's kind of the point of the podcast. Is to keep everyone talking and stimulate conversation. That's an easy way to surmise it, along with being able to do things for a long period of time without burning out in one session. Something that I'm very familiar with.
I think one of the best parts of being a streamer, like I know this is kind of off topic or something, but the best part of being a streamer is you get to interact with chat. And if the chat is active, you can actually, it's like chit chatting, or
Yeah,
you learn
you're having
from them,
conversations.
they
Yeah.
learn from you. A conversation, exactly.
Having a conversation with someone that if you didn't do streaming and gaming, like you probably would never have met this person in your life.
Yep.
Probably.
Exactly.
Like, this type of like the three of us, our interactions were in three different parts of the world. Never in a million years would I have thought I'd be sitting here chatting with you guys today. It's something if you really put it in perspective, like man, everything that I've done that led up to this now, it's wild.
It is wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
Technology.
Yeah. Technology bringing the world
God bless
together.
technology.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I'm
ultimately,
not-
like one of the biggest boons for streaming too. It's an ego trip. It really is. It's gratifying, really gratifying when you got people sitting there in your chat gassing you up. You know, and
Agreed.
even if you're mediocre at games and someone's sitting there like, "Hey, man, you gonna kill this shit. Trust, you got this shit."
Oh yeah, that's a total.
You sit there, you're like,
self-esteem
oh, you're like, okay, all right, crack the neck, get in there, fucking, let's get
boost.
ripping.
It's from you, random chatter in my chat.
Exactly, you know, and that's why
Yeah.
chat is such a massive part of streaming is the interaction,
Yeah,
you know? Like,
Exactly.
Mr. Muffin Man over here sitting there gassing up with them fucking low W emotes.
Yeah, love W.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Shit, I didn't read the chat in the podcast thing.
Oh, I've been reading it.
Yeah, we keep an
My
eye on.
signature emotes.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, like that's realistically what makes it worth it, for sure, is the interaction with chat and then Piper over here dropping his hype emotes.
Panda.
Yeah. Piper.
Piper, the ancient one. He's got so many titles. Ramen Lord. I don't know.
That's Ramen
Somebody
Emperor, bro. Get it right.
Ramen Emperor.
Mm-hmm. It's grounds for execution calling him that. Bear that in mind.
It's true.
Do it again. You might
Not
be in
allowed
trouble.
to have ramen,
Uh,
so he forgives you.
I'm sorry, Piper. I mean, Ramen Overlord.
You need to sacrifice a bowl of pious ramen to him in order to appease him.
Shit, my sister ate the last bit of ramen last night. God damn it.
Uh-oh.
I'm in trouble.
There
It was
you
nice
are.
knowing you guys.
Rest in peace, buddy. Oh, goodness.
Oh, yeah, definitely Muffin. Well, having one person in chat,
Yeah.
it makes all the difference in world.
Yeah. I've had streams. Well, this one Titanfall stream, this guy was like, oh, what's this game? And I showed him off and I showed some Titans. He was like, oh, damn, I like that sword guy, that
Mhm.
Ronin. But yeah,
Yeah, just one person is all it takes. One. And that can be your one viewer, you know? Because, like, even the
Haven't heard
vast
of him
majority
again,
of time, like, a lot of your stream is going to be lurkers, you know? Because not everyone can sit there and dedicate a lot of time because they have their own life going on, and that's fine and dandy.
Yeah.
And so
yes.
that number count is going to be, you know, a little bit artificially inflated, per se, because you do have those lurkers. But that one active chatter, you're gassing. You're gassing, bro. You know, as a small streamer. Then you start hitting numbers and you get like, you know, 12 plus and you got a couple active chatters. Or sometimes it'll get a little wild. Like I've had streams where I've had 12 people talking in the chat at times and I feel like I'm a fucking massive partner on Twitch and I'm
Right.
like, whoo, okay, now we're
It's a good
talking.
feel. It's a really good feel.
Oh yeah, like it's just an ego trip.
Yeah.
It's so gratifying. It really is. Like because at the end of the day, what that means is people find you genuinely entertaining enough to spend time with you like this.
Exactly. It's
And they're
it's
not
a very
even
big,
per se directly interacting with you. They're just writing words on a little chat box.
Yeah.
yeah. And when they donate bits, oof, yesterday I had a chat with this one chatter in my chat.
Yeah.
He donated some bits, right?
Mhm.
And he was like, I donated bits to this other guy. He was, oh, thanks, and wasn't really grateful. And he was thankful that I was being grateful for his bits, you know? And honestly, I've only got like, what, 40 bits since I started affiliate.
Mm.
And honestly, I'm super fucking thankful for people actually throwing even a tiny bits. I'm
Yeah.
like, super thankful.
Yeah.
It means they genuinely enjoy my stuff, and it makes me feel good, and that I'm going a good direction.
And then there are
Okay.
certain
Yeah,
individuals who go a little bit overboard and need a little.
Smack.
Y'all know who you are if you're listening. Y'all know who you are.
I wonder who that is.
There's multiple
wonder
people
who-
now. Multiple. Jackasses.
It's
Love you
funny.
all, but fucking jackasses.
By as much as there's that instant gratification for us, the streamers, there's also like you said, Nomad, with that one streamer, one viewer that came in and thanked you for your reaction. It's an instant gratification factor also for the viewers too.
Yeah,
When
exactly.
they toss that money, they want to see that reaction. They want to see that. Oh my goodness, you gave me a bit. My goodness, that kind of.
And that delves
That
back
feel
to the
happy
faux
dance.
celebrity thing. It delves back
Yeah.
to the faux celebrity thing because you're acknowledging these people who, in a sense, don't see themselves on an equivalent level with you because you're this streamer, you're this entertainer. They don't see you
Yeah.
the same. They see you in a different light, you know? And I'm not saying they're beneath us or anything like that. Nothing of the sort. They are absolutely not the case. But that's just the way they see it and the way they perceive it. And so they get that gratification, like you said, like, hey, this dude, he just said my name and he said thank you. Like, shit, okay, I'm acknowledged. He knows I'm here. You know, he's like, okay.
In the end of the day, that's what people want. So
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah,
it's the instant gratification, and it's that fucking
Yeah.
that's what the system employs. That's why it's there, realistically, because
Again, me and Cyber the other day it's a little bit back, but we're watching our one of the YouTubers that we liked or middle school.
yeah, I remember
and
this. I remember this.
He dropped our name, and then we're like, "Oh my goodness, he said our name!" We were like flipping
I
out.
don't know.
Yeah, yes, Cyber. There is no bits or subs on this channel because this channel is a whopping day old. It doesn't have
It's
affiliate,
spanking new, dude. Spanking
and I
new.
don't think it'll actually. Will it ever hit affiliate? I don't think it will. Based
Who
on the
knows? Maybe it
requirements.
will.
No, I'm thinking on the requirements.
So it
I
needs
mean, right, it needs,
followers,
like-
it needs the views and
The views I don't see
oh,
being the issue. It's the
days.
the days because it'll be
Days.
streamed 4 days a month, so it's never gonna hit affiliate. Perfect. We don't have to worry about it. Get fucked, Fiber.
Unless,
calculated.
unless.
No,
You
no,
guys
unless
do-
no.
Oh, okay.
That's not right now. This is the podcast. That's what it's for. Nothing else.
Yeah,
Just vibing, you know.
Yeah.
it's vibing.
Just
That really
vibing.
is what it is.
It's a way for people to
Exactly.
get some live interaction with the podcast, and that way they can give us some feedback and throw some questions if they do want to hear a specific question asked.
Yeah.
Yeah, Muffin. Yep, exactly. The multi-stream point. Yes, exactly.
Yep.
That is something that
The
we've
other
actually
day-
talked about. We might be
Yep,
entertaining the
May
idea.
entertain in the future.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah.
But currently, for now, it's going to be just YouTube uploads and the Twitch stream the day of. That's what we're going to be sticking with for now. Maybe down the road, we'll explore a little bit more and branch out, but we shall see.
Definitely once I get this
We shall
little
see.
smooth, now that we have this and everything set, we have a podcast with no hiccups, then I say we entertain the idea of adding another.
Yeah, adding another complication to the matter, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because Nick and I already very briefly talked about it, but working the podcast on its way to Spotify, getting that on there. But-
Baby steps, like
yeah,
always.
exactly, baby steps. And so we're sticking with the two that we know fairly well, and that's what we're going to do for now.
Maybe some iPodcast. Wait, what does Apple use?
Yeah, Apple this thing is just podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have the podcast app.
That's whack.
Lack
Yeah.
of creativity. My goodness.
Yeah. Jeez.
I have a question actually.
What's up?
The other day, my dad was like, "Language, please," or something like that. And I was like, "No." And my question is, what's your take on profanity on like Twitch, like swearing in general? Like, is it a go or is it bad? I don't know.
Well, it's funny. You should ask Celeste. I mean, he is. You go to his channel, and then if you don't like profanity, then I mean, you're probably going to be at the wrong place. You know?
There's the mature audience warning right at the get-go for a reason.
Yeah, I threw it in just in case. I do swear, and I do a lot.
Yeah.
Even though I try to hold back.
Like I said, I'm prior military. I curse like a fucking sailor. You know, it's kind of ingrained. I'm nowhere near as bad as I used to be in the military. I can tell you that right now because it was fuck every other sentence, or every other word at times too. If I was heated.
Well,
It's-
grammatically, the word "fuck" is both a verb, noun, and adjective.
Yeah.
So you could essentially
And
use it
present
everywhere in a
participle and a
sentence.
past participle as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty universal in the English language. Pretty interesting on that note. But yeah, no. So Do I necessarily think it detracts? Yes, absolutely it does. Because you're locking yourself into an audience that is typically going to be okay with hearing curse words and okay with swearing in general. So you're going to be devoiding yourself of the younger audience for the vast majority because they're not allowed to interact on that side of things.
Kids.
Yeah, exactly, kids. Look at Ninja, for example, right? Although he does curse, he does have, his moments with that. Vast majority of the time, though, his audience is pandered towards a younger audience. And there's nothing wrong with that. And he's found great success doing so. Absolutely phenomenal success. But basically, at the end of the day, what you are doing is you are limiting yourself. But it's a part of my personality, Unfortunately, it is a shitty personality trait that I curse as much as I do. But it does contribute to conversation from time to time. Can you not bump my green screen, dog? You turd. Go lay down. Needy little turd.
The shot.
He's a needy little turd. But yeah, no. So you are secluding yourself, and you are detracting from your potential audience by doing so.
Yeah,
That's a good point. But
so
then again, I have to put a mature warning with certain games, right?
yeah,
for sure. And especially, I know you mentioned earlier, if you're thinking going into the horror genre as well,
Actually, yeah.
are most likely you're gonna have to have that mature audience warning.
And when I get the face cam, I'll have to use it because I'm, scared.
Oh goodness, self-depreciation humor. Oh boy, that's the point we hit.
It's my coping mechanism.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So like it has its downsides, but at the same time, I feel as though you're being a bit more genuine.
Yeah.
So it is a pro because you are being more genuine, and that is something that a lot of people actually look for. And not to say that putting on a character and doing all sorts of things with that isn't a way to do it. Tyler 1, Dr. Disrespect, all great examples. Who found great success through character. And
Personality.
Yeah, no, it's a character that they put on. Tyler 1, perfect example. Super over the top personality character that he does. Super over the top, but that's what people enjoy about it because it's entertaining as shit.
If you see it, it's so hard not to look at it.
Yeah,
like
there's some streamers that have such an overabundance of energy that's how contagious, if you will.
Yeah, no, exactly.
There's this one user called Pearl Aran or something like that, and holy hell, she's over the top energy, and I enjoy every moment of it.
Absolutely.
So it's pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
God, I love the energy.
That's one of the key things to bring is energy first and foremost. You get that energy going, you get your chat as hyped up as you feel, you're cruising.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Honestly, I think my biggest regret on streaming, like when I first started, was not using my headset and mic all the time. Because there have been moments where I've been crying, well, not crying, but enraged, happy, screaming, but I don't use it, mostly because I didn't know how the settings worked, and it took me a while to get used to it.
Yeah, fair
but
enough.
Now I intend on doing it, maybe creating a character out of this. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, yeah, like we talked about earlier, the VTuber thing, you can full send that personality, make it an entirely different personality, go full schizo, separate yourself from the character. No, seriously, separate yourself from the character entirely and just put on this persona to match this character that you're creating. It's method acting. It's genuine method acting, and what you're doing is acting, and you're putting on a show at the end of the day, and that's what we all do to a certain extent. I even doll up my personality a bit on camera and push it a little bit further at times just to make sure I get that extra effect that I'm looking for. It's that way people will feel it. I'm not over the top 24/7, no, but I can definitely push it sometimes. And those that have played games with me know it, because I'll sit there and they'll be, I'll be chill, hanging out, having a good time, shooting the shit a little bit, talking shit just a little bit, and then next minute I'm fucking going off on you. I'm sending it, especially on camera. I'll send it. But they know I'm doing it for a good time. They're having a good time with it, and so that's why I'm comfortable doing it with it.
It's like the reverse of Sans from Undertale. You're in here for a good time, not a bad time. Oh, okay, that was a bad joke.
You're bad joke.
Bad jokes have their place too.
Yeah.
Exactly,
I'm pretty sure I have a command that says a channel reward that says choose this for a bad joke, no refunds.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, they have spammed it. I'm like, yeah, I don't have it. I didn't write too many, but
Gotta have them
where the
ready.
hell's my cat?
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, I gotta have them ready. Thanks.
So one point that we didn't really touch on. You are exclusively a console streamer, yes?
No,
Right now, currently, yes.
I mean it's just a start.
So you're starting out with more or less the same gear that you started out roughly about a year ago with, right?
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you using? Are you streaming directly from console? Do you have a capture card? You mentioned briefly that you have a Mac. What are you working with?
I'm working on basically direct stream from the PS4.
Mhm.
And I initially intended getting a capture card,
Mhm.
but since I'm broke, I started doing commissions.
Mm-hmm.
Fairly recent. I mean, Chaos from the Discord
Mhm.
currently is my first customer, and I already
Hey.
did one for First Works.
Mhm.
But I'm still not open. Like I'm still like working things. I'm gonna start going to this study place real soon.
Mhm.
So I'm like in the middle of a bunch of things going on.
Mhm.
Hell, I'm even moving from this place, so I'm like in a heap of trouble or
Mhm.
movements, if you will.
Yeah.
But I intend on doing commissions. I intend on getting cash to get capture cards so I can increase my, well, aesthetic, if you will.
Production value.
Yeah.
Production value. Yes, that's one thing I'm trying to go for.
Mhm.
But for right now, I'm just streaming directly, having fun. That's, yeah.
This is the way. This
So
This is the way.
outside of the capture card, what's your upgrade path looking like? What is your ideal goals to achieve in like each category? Like what are you prioritizing first past that capture card? What's the first thing that you're looking to get right after you get that capture card? What's the next goal?
My next goal would be a better mic, honestly.
Better
'Cause
mic,
right now
okay.
I'm using this headset
Mhm.
that I got from birthday.
So a standalone mic.
Yeah.
Okay. And again,
And
aiming to achieve that better production quality.
exactly.
Yeah.
I can use my little brother. Since he started online schooling, my dad went ahead and got this super awesome PC. This laptop at least.
Mhm.
That's a gamer laptop that has vents and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's got like i9, so that it's over the top compared to my Mac laptop. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna like steal it / use it when he's not using it.
Tactically acquire is the word I like to use.
So,
Or the
tactically
phrase.
acquire.
Yes.
I'm gonna use that phrase now.
Mhm.
Thanks.
I have tactically acquired many things in my lifetime. I can say that for sure.
Recipes.
And I guess I'll do a little story for that one. One of my favorite stories from my military days. There was a day where we were emptying out Connexes, which for those of you who don't know, those big ass containers that you'll see on like those massive cargo ships, that's a Connex. They are
Those
giant
square pockets, those
containers.
rectangles?
Yes, giant
Yeah.
metal rectangles that just hold shit, great extent. We were emptying out the Connexes in our yard, and we were cleaning them out. And we came across one that was filled entirely with nothing but chem lights. And chem lights are basically high quality, high grade glow sticks.
Sticks.
Yes, glow sticks.
Must have been quite the night.
We
Raven.
had
Yeah.
roughly
Sorry.
about 10,000 glow sticks at our disposal. And our first sergeant, who was in charge of our entire unit, on the NCO side of things, I'm not going to delve too deeply into military hierarchy and how that works, but needless to say, he was in charge of us. He said, "We have no use for these. Do what you will with them. They're expired anyways. I don't care. Get rid of them some shape or fashion. Whatever." Needless to say, the group that I was with, the four of us, decided to tactically acquire them. A lot of them. And we may or may not have had a lot of fun in the motor pool that night, dressing up a lot of the trucks. To the point that when everyone came back in the morning, we set up speakers in one of them and we're having an absolute rave first thing in the morning out the back of the truck. At which point, First Sergeant saw it and we got chewed the fuck out and destroyed. I don't think I've ever had so much fun working out in my life, and by working out, I mean an absolute sweatshop, because that man put us through hell for that, but it was worth it in the end, because even he looked at it and just laughed. He just fucking laughed and immediately just went right back to full first sergeant mode and was like, all right, so you're a bunch of idiots. Get your ass on the ground, start pushing.
Yeah. Must have been worth it.
Oh, absolutely, it was. His face among the other sergeants and NCOs that were there at the time, even our XO, which is the second in command, commanding officer, lieutenant, typically. He was having an absolute ball. He was on the ground laughing so fucking hard because we were just sitting there. One of my buddies even made nipple tassels out of the fucking things. So he was just sitting there swinging them around, fucking dancing. I was like, bro, you are nah, nah.
God damn.
Over the top. But yeah, so that's tactically acquiring for you. There you go. And that's the phrase of the day, I guess we'll go with.
If anyone didn't know what tactical acquiring was, then now you know.
Now you know.
There's the story.
Yes. There's the story behind
No.
it as well. Yes.
This is a learning podcast now.
You go lay down.
Yeah.
Go lay down. You go lay down. You're fat. I love you, but you're
Damn.
fat. Go lay down. Thank you.
Nipple tassels. Nice.
Yeah.
Typical.
Anywho, yeah. Highway. I said go lay down. Yes, you. Oh my God, he's sitting there spinning it. Look at him go lay down. Go lay down.
He's looking.
He's like, oh, Dad, are you looking? Do you see me? But yeah, so because like upgrade path. Hey, bud, can you not? Yes, you. Go lay down.
He's still there, looking.
Yeah.
He thinks he's sneaky, but he's fat and he has jingles around his neck, so I hear him. Goodness, and the camera also helps, but beside the point. Whenever it comes to like the upgrade path, first and foremost, video quality takes the highest priority. Outside of upgrading to an actual PC, which isn't feasible for a lot of people, especially right now during the silicon shortage, the worst that we've ever seen across the world. It's not super reasonable for people to pick up PCs in order to up their streaming game on that end. Audio quality with a close second, though. Camera aside, outside of that jurisdiction for the video quality. It does matter if you are streaming off a webcam, but if you're not, then obviously it doesn't quite apply. So audio quality. Audio quality is super important. And it's one of the simplest things, too, to upgrade for a reasonable price. There's a lot of high-quality mics. Go lay down! Damn dog. It's one of the simpler things. You don't have to go balls to the wall and, drop $400 on a fucking microphone, among other pieces in the software. Can you y'all are bearing witness to this dog right now in all his glory.
He just wants to be part of the podcast and get clouds.
No, he's just a dork. You go lay down. Highway. I said go lay down. Go lay down.
Is it called Highway?
Yes, his name is Highway.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, that's because we found him on a highway.
Creative.
Yeah, real creative. Yeah, it was the name that he had whenever the coworker of ours who rescued him gave him, and so it just kind of stuck. We just kept with it. Highway, go lay down. Go lay down. You're not invisible behind the green screen, you turd. Goodness gracious me.
Where is he?
He's right behind the green screen still. He hasn't moved. He's gonna poke his head around in about 3 seconds. But yeah, audio quality definitely. Because there's simple settings that you can tune in OBS too, like that 320 bitrate on your audio. It's not going to impact your performance in any way, but it's going to double your audio quality on its own. Yeah. And that's a setting. That's just a simple couple clicks. But then, upgrading to a mic, there's a lot of affordable options that you can go to. The Elgato Wave 3 is a very solid piece of hardware. That's not going to break the bank.
Makes mics?
Yeah. They make pretty much everything for the entire streaming environment. Everything.
Yeah.
Damn.
At this point.
Not full in.
Yeah, well, that's their gimmick, and that's what they're striving for, and so that's their target audience, and they're going to keep pushing that, and they usually deliver quality products. There are some that definitely have issues, but we're not going to talk about that. But that's just an example of a mic, that's like $180 comes with super nice software that helps a lot with streaming, so that way you can avoid purchasing a Go XLR, because that's a lot of the functionality that it has on the software. But that's, again, all software, not hardware. So that's the downside comparative to that. Because again,
right, about software, which one do you guys use? I know Twitch made their own, but there's also OBS and Streamlabs.
OBS is the only way to go, in my opinion.
I use Streamlabs OBS, so I use Slobs.
No, I use Stream Elements or OBS Live. It's just an add-on that incorporates a lot of the stream elements, which realistically, that's for your alerts, that's for your overlays and stuff like that, more so than anything else. So that's just basically which preference you would prefer to go with, Streamlabs or Stream Elements. The reason I prefer Stream Elements is because Streamlabs OBS is a little bit different of an entity entirely. It functions a little bit differently. A lot of the software is actually different to that of the original OBS. OBS I prefer in general. I find that it's a lot easier to find a lot of the settings that I'm looking for, and the overall control is a little bit more polished. So that's why I stick with that. And then OBS Live, which has the Stream Elements integration, which is the tipping service that I use. Just natural integration, and it doesn't change anything of the core of OBS. So.
Yeah, honestly, all of them have been tuned in and have been made fairly well.
Yep.
So honestly, whatever choice you decide to go with when you want to stream off of Capture Card in the future, I'd say
Yeah, because Elgato has
can't
its
go
own
wrong.
software as well too,
yeah.
that you can use, which is just a little bit more ingrained with their products. Not what I would recommend, again, because it doesn't have quite the same functionality as OBS. OBS is a lot more control, whether you use Streamlabs OBS or just regular OBS Studio. That's what I would recommend, though.
I guess I'll too. All right, thanks.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
I still have a long way to technically acquire any of the hardware.
Well, you can do a lot on the software side too. So
Very true.
Very true.
and that's typically a lot more affordable too.
Yeah, with any decision that you make, honestly, as long as you do the research into it, you should be fine.
Yeah,
Just
research is key. Open.
research is key.
Research
Component,
is key.
there we go.
Yeah. Yep. And that applies to not just software but hardware as well.
What about mental wear? I'm joking.
Yeah, well, not everyone's a subject matter expert on things, and so that's why it's nice to reach out to a resource like that.
Yeah, I get it.
So I guess we can tandem off the earlier questions too, and I can ask you, what would your ideal streaming setup be?
Set up as in what?
Everything.
Like, yeah, everything, like in terms of location, in terms of your equipment.
Yep. Like, what's your ultimate ideal that you're striving for at the your ultimate end game?
Well, I'd really want a proper chair,
Okay.
I currently stream from the couch and it's leather, so every time I move about, it makes these squeaky fart noises, which I'm kind of ashamed.
Hey man,
So a proper chair,
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'd be
Honestly, I don't
lying if
really
I didn't say I farted on stream. It happens. I'm curious whether or not it gets picked up by the mic sometimes, because sometimes it's loud and it's
exactly.
you got a little, sometimes you're sitting in your chair just right and it's a little bit of a woofer. And you're just like, oh boy.
Whooper.
Especially if you have beans the other day or something, or coffee.
Yeah, coffee makes me
Personally, I
gassy.
don't fart much with coffee.
Coffee makes me burp.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
That's
what's your
awesome.
ultimate end game? Like, aside from the chair, like the whole ecosystem, right? Because it's not just one singular
Whole
piece.
ecosystem, right?
Yeah, the whole ecosystem, your super idealistic stream setup, hardware, software, everything. What's the whole end game?
Fairly honest, I'd love to have this room that's not cold but not warm, perfectly temperatured with some
Okay.
ambient orangish glow on the background,
Mhm.
somewhat dark but still well lit.
Mhm.
A proper screen, in front of me, not on the side, not where I have to lean to see properly.
Mhm.
A gaming, a good chair, to be honest. A good OBS overlay that's really defined to my touch, with my touches, my artistic aesthetic, if you will.
Yep.
A bit of rustic, or something like that.
Mhm.
Good quality, good audio, and maybe that's pretty much all I want.
Okay.
Which I'm working towards too.
Would you be more interested in leaning towards PC streaming, or do you want to stick with console streaming?
Both.
You want to do both? Okay.
To be honest, yeah.
Okay.
I want a proper PC so I can, because currently the program I'm using to do my art stinks, totally stinks.
Yeah.
I have to deal with it for now. So yeah.
Okay.
And I think my third or maybe second buy will actually be a PC unit
Okay.
and a mic. Besides, this headset's pretty nice. It's pretty well. I hope.
That is good. Yeah.
And maybe a cup holder.
A cup holder.
Hey man, most gaming desks they include that. Cup holders included.
And there's no cup holder on my desk, sadly.
Nor mine.
Nor mine either. I mean, my
Yeah.
entire desk is a cup holder because I have a bunch of coffee cups and empty cans. So, you know.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a saw and just like cut it myself.
I think that's going to be my next big project, though, is building a new desk because this one does
Yeah.
not have the space that I need. But that's a good chunk of dough.
Hopefully,
Lead the way.
I'm kind of scared about one thing. Since
Hmm.
I'm moving soon to this new place that that we constructed, like it's been hard work.
Mhm.
Although I haven't pitched in enough, to be honest.
Mhm.
I just want to say, I'm scared because the new living room, if you will, is
Mhm.
gonna be pretty open, so there may be an echo effect, and honestly, that's gonna suck a lot.
You
So,
ready?
yeah.
You ready for the easiest way to combat that?
Just please.
Put stuff in it.
Oh yeah, no.
Anything
Currently it's
and
empty.
everything will absorb sound, no matter what material it's made of, no matter where it's positioned in the room. Just having stuff in the room will help. You can see on some of my walls here, they're fairly empty, but I do have stuff throughout the entire course of this room. And hopefully by the next place I'll move, I'll have my own studio. At which point it's probably going to be all
Yes, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's
Yeah.
definitely something I'm keeping in mind when I move. So that way I can have the entire room dedicated to streaming and setting everything up. Because as you can see here, I kind of have an impromptu green screen just standing right behind me. It's not ideal. It
Yeah.
works, though, but no.
It works.
The more
If it
space
ain't
you
broke-
have, the more opportunity you have to assemble things in a way that will benefit your angles, benefit your lighting, more space for things. It's just good in general, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, not being able to
That
see
myself.
how lazy I am behind me is pretty great because, I can hide that fact a little better.
No dirty socks behind the green screen, hopefully.
No.
Allegedly.
Just the two girls' kennels for the pups, and around them is a good bit of fucking dog hair because I'm too lazy to vacuum because it's a process and a half because I have to pick everything up off the floor.
Surprisingly,
Definitely.
we have this Roomba, I think you call them, automatic vacuum cleaners.
Mhm.
I call them
Yeah.
Marv. And he really sucks at picking up dog hair, to be honest.
Yeah.
Especially because my dog has like somewhat curly hair, so like hooks into the carpet sometime.
Yeah, the carpet
Yeah.
the carpet eats dog hair. Trust me, I know. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
this
it's-
carpet here weighs at least another fucking 15 pounds off of dog hair alone.
It's like two carpets.
No matter
in
how
one.
much I vacuum,
Two
it's never coming
carpets
out.
in one.
Yeah.
Two carpets in one.
But I think
Basically.
that about wraps it up. I think that's pretty much everything. Unless you have anything else that you want to add in, Nomad, you got anything else that you want to ask us?
How you doing? Sorry.
Doing good.
All
doing
good, all good.
Thank you for asking.
I felt bad
For anybody else,
morning,
anyone
to be
else
honest.
who's listening, you felt. Oh yeah, I remember you said you were feeling a little sick this morning.
Yeah, I had a killer headache. I guess it's because I hadn't drank coffee. I'm pretty sure I'm like addicted to it.
Caffeine
like,
deprivation. Yep. Caffeine deprivation.
Yeah.
It's real.
I
It's real.
cannot go 12
100%
hours
real.
without caffeine intake. Otherwise, I will get headaches. And they are chronically
Yeah.
and they are bad.
Yeah, I
Oh.
feel like my head's gonna pop, essentially.
Caffeine
Like,
deprivation.
Yeah, it's
I'm no
scary.
longer on coffee. Like I drink it occasionally, but I remember like back in New York when I would have it every day, and then when I wanted to transition off of it again, and I was like, the first week is always the hardest because like your head is killing you.
Mhm.
It is bad.
It's
My
a drug, quite literally.
No, it is a drug, and it is the
it is a drug,
world's most
100%.
most commonplace
It's
drug,
huge.
actually.
Yeah. I'm gonna switch it up for cocaine. Don't worry.
Oh man. But yeah, definitely. I mean, Nomad, despite you feeling ill this morning, we definitely appreciate you coming on with us, chatting it up with us, answering questions.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. I really enjoy chatting. I mean, it's a good change instead of getting criticized the whole time. It's good actually having proper conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, the pleasure is both ways, homie.
Yeah.
For sure. And yeah, definitely anybody for people who are here, you guys are awesome for hanging out.
Hell yeah.
If you guys have any last minute questions to ask us before we all finish up and wrap it up,
Mhm.
feel free to shoot them. Muffin Man, Boss, Cyber, everyone who popped in, Barbaduke, y'all are dope.
I
Gazat.
tried inviting my friend, this close friend who's like a big supporter of mine. I tried to invite her, but I guess she was busy, so that sucks.
No worries.
That's
We
all
sent
right,
you the YouTube video.
because this will be going up on YouTube either whenever
Yeah,
I
right, I
don't
forgot.
feel like being lazy. So I'm not going to promise a date. But it will
Yeah,
be
it's
going
okay,
up on
I'm
YouTube at some
actually
point.
Gonna be ambitious with this and gonna say make some edits for YouTube too, to kind of like make the hiccups disappear.
Meme edits, right?
Meme edits, exactly. Meme edits.
Honestly, what I was thinking realistically would just be things that caveat off of the conversation that we're having, clips of like games or whatever, so on and so forth.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That would be
Yeah,
super
those
ideal.
two.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we'll down the road, more to come. This will continue to grow as Nick and I continue this little love child of ours.
Yes.
Hey, if you guys need a third person to do these, I'm like down to do it. Like third person and fourth guest.
We
I'm
greatly
down.
appreciate the offer, but at this time, no, unfortunately not. We're not looking to overclog with the consistent hosts.
Right, that's fair.
But definitely in terms of guests, we'll for sure one of these days after we filter through, invite Meet Nomad Part 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially down the road, and hopefully we'll have definitely seen some progression on your part in terms of streaming and seeing your growth as a streamer, and then kind of revisit some of the topics we talked about today and see how your philosophy has changed and overall how you've grown as a streamer and see how that progressed.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because this is planning to be a long-term project of ours, so
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we could see how much this podcast evolves with it too.
yep, hopefully.
Maybe
All
have
right.
Highway as a co-host.
Something like that. All right, well, thank you all so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure as
Thank you for
always.
joining.
Thank you, Nomad, for joining us. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. And everyone, have yourselves a wonderful day.
Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.
Drink water. Stay hydrated, or else.